Wait, Zach, don't die without me seeing it.
I'm dead.
Oh, what the?
I'm dead.
Okay, Zach, at least give me your. Hold on. This is risky.
Yeah, grab my flashlight.
Yeah, drop it. I'll take that.
And grab this. If you have enough room, grab this as well.
Okay. Cool. Now I'm gonna kill
Alright,
myself.
I'm gonna see if I can try to maneuver myself. Oh, I did it.
Alright, well, cool. Fuck you.
Drop.
Lethal Company is a game about evading the ever-looming threat of death and making ends meet by any means necessary, even if those means involve sacrificing your loved ones and selling precious belongings. So in a nutshell, it's reminiscent of the college experience.
Get it?
In all actuality, it's an online co-op horror extravaganza that'll have you bursting into hideous laughter for hours Oh my god, at a guys, time. wouldn't it be really funny if I hit the left mouse button right now?
Do it.
Tears will be shed. Employees will be left to die.
I think we left Brian to die.
But most importantly of all, the company is in fact lethal. Here's the basic rundown for all you uncultured swine out there. You and a group of up to 4 players total, or more with the More Company mod, which we use throughout the video, link in description, are tasked with landing on dangerous planets, looting these factory structures of any useless junk you can find, and hope you have enough junk to sell back to the company after 3 days. If your quota isn't met within the time frame, say hello to the game over screen. It's best to deeply explore each planet's crevices for the most valuable junk items.
Very sad.
Once the 3 days are up, you are able to sell your junk in order to pay off your quota. A team member will probably die to the tentacle monster running the company, and we repeat this process until the heat death of the universe, buying newer and cooler gadgets with our leftover savings as time goes on. Sounds pretty simple,
That's a mine.
but it isn't exactly sunshine and rainbows out in the deep expanse of space. On a completely unrelated note, there may be some monsters that tend to inhabit each planet, and they may have an unquenchable hunger for human flesh, or sometimes an unhealthy affinity for stop signs. And not only that, but if a crew member happens to die and their body isn't found and brought back to the ship, a cash penalty is then deducted from your account. What can I say? Capitalism at its finest. Okay, so when you buy Lethal Company for $10 on Steam, you pretty much expect to get what you paid for. That isn't to put the game down or anything like that, but what I'm saying is the game is rudimentary at its core. The graphics aren't stunning, but they do the job of conveying a sense of unease and dread very well. Same can be said for the sound design, which I found especially effective for the eerie atmosphere presented. Focusing more on that sound design aspect for a moment, there is a little nifty feature called proximity voice chat, which can prove to be rather hilarious or horrifying depending on your perception of things. For instance, you and a friend called up the ice cream man and managed to each get their hands on some walkie-talkies, meaning you can communicate with each other from pretty much anywhere on the planet. You're chatting it up and having a good time to boot, when eventually they stop responding to your messages. You try and try, but eventually you begin to lose hope. You assume the worst. Stung to death by bees, killed by Weeping Angel Peanut, whoever that guy is. Who knows what grisly horror he may have succumbed to. Looking around the factory didn't reveal anything concrete. Defeated, you head on back to the ship, and you make the crippling decision to leave them behind. Dead or alive, fate surely sealed. When you arrive on the ship and realize they've been checking cameras this whole time, having accidentally turned off their walkie-talkie. This disconnect between what you know versus what your crewmates know is what makes Lethal Company so engaging. Spectating someone after dying is simultaneously the funniest and most frustrating experience in the world, and I can't help but love every second of it. After a while, things will start to get intense. Monsters become more frequent. As quotas increase higher and higher, you start to take things a bit too seriously. And when there's tension afoot, you're damn well sure there's a group of friends willing to break it. Yeah, I'm convinced that the horror tags on Steam are completely wrong. This game is just a full-blown comedy.
What did you say on your tag? I don't want to hear it. Hard timer. Okay.
The aforementioned ragdolls. The sporadic comedic timing created by the proximity voice chat.
Someone took a big that fell.
The low poly monsters and models.
Christ is that?
The stress of filling up the quota in a short amount of time. All of these aspects just juxtapose each other, as well as the basic survival elements put into place at the game's core, which creates this aura of pure comedic gold.
Guys, I sold the TV remote.
I mean, need I mention the funny mines that blow you sky high like a Skyrim NPC getting shouted off of a mountain? Or the abundance of bottomless pits many of the crew members, including myself, are seemingly magnetized to? Yeah guys, I can totally make the jump. Oh good heavens, I seem to have fallen to my death. Goodbye, tell my family I love them. All of these different experiences are emergent, sporadic, collaborative at their core, and most importantly, another Tuesday on the Deadly Corporation video game, or whatever, I forgot the name of it. To drive this point home about collaboration being the key, let's briefly change the subject for just a moment. Don't play Lethal Company by yourself. Playing Lethal Company solo is a frustrating, disheartening, and terrifying experience I would rather never do again, thank you very much.
We quit.
Despite the single-player capability being on the back of the proverbial box, you can definitely tell within minutes that the game is not suited for it at all. Seeing a monster most of the time can often guarantee certain death with little ability to fend it off. Finding items early on is a chore, and many of the gadgets you can get your hands on are just straight up not useful when flying solo. Like, what's a walkie-talkie gonna do when the goddamn flower man's chasing after you? A whole load of nothing, that's what. Here's my plea to anyone watching this video. If you are interested at all in playing this game, get a group of friends who are consistent and eager to pony up the dough to commit to it. Otherwise, you'll get burned out, hoping that the players in random lobbies are actually willing to talk and commiserate about the threats that lurk within. When it comes to the actual complaints I have about the game, it really just boils down to the amount of content. And I know, it's unrealistic to expect Fortnite 2 from a solo dev, and I completely sympathize with that. But I'm looking at this in comparison to the free multiplayer games oversaturating the market we unfortunately reside in today. The dev is already posting about new updates and possible content releasing, so it definitely seems like this critique will become less and less relevant as time goes on and the game blossoms from here. Oh, and also, the modding scene is already beginning to grow. There's the More Company mod discussed at the start of the video, for one thing, but there are a bunch of impressive showings when it comes to quality of life features and reskins so far. So give the mods a go if you get a chance, but be warned. Instructing your more tech-illiterate friends on how to put a file in a folder may wind up being more frustrating than the game itself, so mod the game at your own discretion. In short, if you aren't bothered by the fun aspect being tethered to the multiplayer, and you have a good group of friends to play it with and enjoy, then by God will Lethal Company make your skin melt off from laughing so hard. I'm definitely one that gets easily burned out on new multiplayer releases, so it's definitely refreshing when one can truly make a splash in the way this one has lately. And as I've said before, there's nothing wrong with supporting an indie dev, so throw them some money and check the game out for yourselves. Thank you all for watching the video to the end. I know attention spans are getting worse and worse by the minute, so I'm glad you actually kept your eyes from wandering off to other undoubtedly more important or interesting things. The video not being an hour and a half long also probably helped, but hey, what do I know? Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys whenever I decide to upload again.
I'm gonna check the bestiarity thing.
Bestiarity.